All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever podcast. Today we're going to be talking about, we're going to get to know each other pretty much. My name's Brian, and I'm hoping you guys like to listen to what I got to say. Sometimes I've got a few things up my head that I like to say, so that's kind of, what I'm kind of bargaining on. So, my life's kind of exciting sometimes. Sometimes it can be a real hoot of a time. Other times it can be a real Downy Debbie. So if you guys ever feel Downy Debbie moments with me, I'm sorry. You feel free to, write a nasty letter to me, and then after you're done writing it, go to the post office, pretend to mail it, but then, just throw it away because it'll act as like closure for you without actually having to hurt my feelings. But I digress. So, welcome aboard. It's nice to be here. I've been having this dream of becoming something of a internet sensation myself. So I've always wanted to do something like this. I've never really had the motivation until now. It's currently 11:34 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon. Jesus has just risen. It's Sunday Easter. It's 4/4/21, and I'm just trying to do something. I feel like I've been living in a rut, in a pattern. I've been stuck in the Truman Show for the past year. But, this year's been pretty pog chimp for me, so I really can't complain. So, now that we've got that out of the way, just wanted to let you guys know I'm a bit of a creative little boy myself. I like to do silly things. Sometimes I feel like I need a team behind me, and sometimes I do need a team behind me to help me stay on track and stuff. But sometimes I'm just a silly boy who likes to have fun by himself and ends up doing some silly stuff. Like the other day, I have a whole bunch of songs I have recorded, covers I've recorded, ready to just drop, but creatively, I feel there was a time where I was just like, okay, I hear a song, boom, record, okay, now let's do a little silly graphic in Premiere Pro, and then boom, we're all set. And then that was it. That was fun. I was having so much fun doing that. And it was like, okay, I'm uploading, I'm doing consistently. I'm somewhat of an influencer myself. But then it ended up being like, oh gosh, this is low tier, low hanging fruit content I'm pumping out, isn't it? And oddly enough, one of those low hanging fruit contents is the biggest video on my channel, sitting at freaking 1.1k views, and that's pretty pog chimp. But I digress. So after a minute, I decided that formula is old and outdated for me. So I decided, hey, let me switch it up. Let me do something neat. I always wanted to be Mr. Rogers. I always felt a connection with that man. I feel like a lot of what I do is either trying to be Mr. Rogers or Steve from Blue's Clues. So I decided, hey, what the heck? Let me try and do something neat, something weird, something gigachamp. Let me show off my body. And so I was like, okay, let me do some live action stuff. I did the live action stuff for a while. That was pretty fun. And now it's like, okay, I've done live action stuff. I was trying to do a cinematic universe where it was a different song, a different table, a different background, and then it just was the same CD, but it was different songs. So, and like different time periods, emulating the tables and stuff and the lamps. But then I was just like, okay, this is boring. Now, next. What's next? And so the next thing I did was I was like, okay, let me just go out, grab my camera, go to my car, and just record me driving around town. And I did just that. I was going to add a silly clip of a car cutting me off, and then my mom being like, whoa, chill, and then me going, vroom. But then I was like, you know what, let's not give evidence to something that there is no proof of. So I was like, eh. So I did that. That video did all right. It's whatever. I had fun making it. I have fun making all my videos. I used to have like a whole bunch of videos. I think I might have some like that are still archived, which is weird. I don't know why I'm breathing in so much. I can hear myself and it's cringe. but I feel like I haven't talked this much. My lungs are getting, because, I don't know, I haven't used my lungs to talk to people in such a long time that hearing myself and talking this much is making me actually feel tired, like if I'm running a marathon or something. And oddly enough, I did run, I think, 2 miles, the final 2 miles, I think, or 3 miles, maybe I might even say. But I think it was the last 2 miles with my little brother as he ran across the marathon. Hopefully we'll get him on the podcast soon. I want to make like a cinematic universes of podcasts. Like I want to have Samster Boy 20. Oh, sorry. Chia Pet Sam on the podcast. I wouldn't mind having some other friends of mine who have a prominent YouTube channel, prominent YouTube channels on the podcast. It'd be fun. It'd be like, hey, how are you doing? And then just having like my friends on the podcast, that'd be fun. It'd be like, hey, what's your profession? Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. How's life treating you so far? How have you adapted to COVID-19? How has your life differed now? A year ago, well, not a year ago today, because a year ago now is COVID time. How was your life different 2 years ago? How was your life different 1 month ago? Has it changed? Have you grown as a person? You know, those types of questions. Those are fun. And yeah, talking to myself is really fun. I feel like podcasts might be easy to do, but it's like you have to keep on talking and talking and talking. And then I did one, I recorded one, I think last week, where it was like another burst of energy where it's like, I'm motivated, I'm going to do something. And then I recorded myself, but I didn't have this to hear me. And now that I'm hearing myself, it helps me be more aware of the vibes I'm giving off, I guess. And the other one, I was just like, all right, guys, let's welcome to the podcast, because I couldn't hear myself. So I was just like trying my hardest. I was just being myself. I wasn't being that energetic little boy that I know I am, or that people want to hear. Because the other guy I didn't want to hear. This guy I'm portraying right now, who knows if I'm gonna want to hear him. But I was gonna edit the other one to upload it, but I was like, nah. So now here we are. I think I went on a rant. I diverged from my talking point, but I like painting. Painting is really fun. I've gotten into acrylic painting. I think the last paint I did, though, was like maybe a month ago, maybe 2 months. But there was like a few weeks where I was just like vroom, vroom, painting everything. I was like, whoa. I went from painting with just my brain. I watched like 3 hours of Bob Ross videos. And then I started painting. I started going ham, and I was like, vroom, vroom, vroom. I did some cool paintings. I gave one to a friend. I want to make more paintings and give them to people. That'd be fun. Maybe like go to like a Petco or something, being like, hey, do you guys want this painting? And then, getting shot in the face or something. But I have a whole bunch of respect to like people who edit and stuff, because it's like, that's crazy, bro. You spend so much time listening to people, and then I've edited stuff, my own stuff, all the time. So it's like, okay, let me see where I have to cut. Okay, let me listen. I gotta watch this part. I gotta do this. And it's like, oh, it gets boring sometimes. And it's like, oh, but the feeling I used to get before, because back when I was in high school, I would like make everybody watch it, and then just seeing the reaction and stuff, and then seeing how people liked it, and then just getting like even though I wouldn't get it online, just getting people being like, oh, that was a cool video, man. That was enough to get my little heart ticking. So here we are. Now it's been 2 years. I would like to think I didn't peak in high school, but because it's like, whoa, I'm like a totally different person than I was last year. Cause maybe I'm a totally different person I was maybe a year and a half ago. Because a year and a half ago, it was, November? Like, November of 2019, I think, was the turning point where I was like, screw it. we're going sicko mode. And it was like, boom, 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 boom. Let me get my thoughts. Let me get my breath. I drink a lot of water. This is the podcast to remind you. We're sponsored today by water. Please stay hydrated. Do your exercises. Exercises are fun because it helps you get your blood pumping, your heart racing. And then maybe you won't be breathing as much and out of breath as much as I am right now trying to talk into this microphone. I think my mic is cool for ASMR. So yeah. In December, Christmas Eve of 2019, I believe, when I was 18 years old, I was a month into being 18 years old, I went to a neighboring city and I decided, screw it, we're getting our driver's license today, boys. And so I went, I took my test. I saw a friend there, which was silly. It was like she had just did it and she had just passed. And so she was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Yo, what's up?" And she was like, "Oh, I passed." I was like, "Oh, how'd you do?" "I passed." "What about you?" "Oh, I'm just getting signed in." And she was like, "Oh, good luck." I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need it." "Thanks." No, I'm just kidding. And then I passed. And then it was so silly because I had failed one before, and it was silly because I accidentally went into a lane where it's like for turning into early, and that was a whole different thing because I went to a totally different freaking state kind of to do that, and I was like, oh gosh. And then I was I was silly. I was freaking the speed limit was 55 or whatever, or 50 or 40, and I was going, if it was let's say the speed limit was 40, and I was like, oh, I can go 5 above and 5 below, so let me go 45. And then the guy was like, hey, don't drive as fast as you were driving, man. But I'm pretty sure I would have passed if I didn't do that little hiccup, because that was like a major or whatever, and it was like, and everything else seemed fine. And he was like, oh, good luck, son. But then Christmas Eve came, and I was determined, because I had a part-time job. I was a full-time student, and I had spent all my life riding the bus, all my life walking around, and it was like time to stop. And so Christmas Eve came, and I was like, vroom, 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 vroom. And it was silly because I was driving my uncle's freaking huge van, sedan, I don't know, huge car. But it was silly because I had a huge car of my own at the time. And so I was like, I don't know what the word for it is in English, but I had a camioneta. And it was like roughly the same size. It was the same like maneuvering, but his was like the newest thing. And it was so cool because you could see your speed limit. And I was just starting to like drive kind of. So I wasn't used to looking down at the speedometer. And so I was like, oh, this was neat. And then I could see if there were cars next to me and stuff. So it was just, pretty pog chimp. And then I got a lady, and then the lady was like, all right, let's go, bro. I was like, oh, for sure. And so I was extra cautious. I was turning my neck. I was looking left and right. I was looking in the rearview mirror. I was looking in the side mirrors. I answered, I think, all the questions. I don't even remember what I did. But I turned right, and then she was like, all right, drive here, bro. And I was like, okay, thanks, bro. And she was like, all right, man, right now, pull up. We about to pull up on the ops. I was like, oh, for real? And she was like, yeah. And then she was like, all right, so now pull up here, and then just reverse, bro. And I was like, oh, shoot. This is the make it or break it moment, because I was like scared to hitting the curb. And what was so silly, I remember I had like a little moment of realization. It was like, yo, I saw her looking in the rearview mirror. I was like, oh, what? Let me peep what you looking at. And so I lifted up my head a little bit, and I could see the wheel and the curb, and I was like, yo, I can see if I'm gonna hit the curb. Hell yeah. And so that's exactly what I did. I was looking there, and I felt like a pro. I was like, vroom, 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 vroom. And she's like, all right, son, let's leave the curb. And so I turn on my blinker, and it goes ding, ding, ding. And she's like, all right, for sure. And then we go to a crossroad, and we do a turn. And then at one point, I think she takes out her phone, and she starts texting and stuff and starts calling somebody, I think. I'm just like, oh, okay. Weird champ. Did I just fail? Is she calling 911 to come rescue her? Did I just kidnap this lady? And then we pull up, and then the car was trying to do a silly thing, I remember. I didn't want to let me in, I don't think, and I was like, okay, and so I slowed down. I did the responsible thing instead of trying to cut him off. So I go in, and then another silly thing was, I go in, my uncle's there. It's his car, obviously. He has his phone, and he's calling somebody. And then when we get in range, his phone automatically connects to Bluetooth, and we start hearing his voice. And I just look at the lady. I'm like, I don't know how to fix this. I'm so sorry. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. So we get there, and she's like writing stuff, and I'm like, all right, so how do I do? She's like, all right, you passed, bro. Go in, get your driver's license, and have a Merry Christmas. I don't think she said Merry Christmas. She says, go in, get your driver's license, have a good day. I said, oh my God, thank you so much, Merry Christmas. And if I were a different man, I probably would have hugged that lady and kissed her right then and there. But sadly, I'm spoken for. No, but I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And then I remember getting out of the car and was like, woo, baby, yeah. And yeah. And then ever since then, slowly I went from having the family camioneta being my vehicle of choice to that breaking down, and then we thinking it's going to explode if it goes for more than 5 minutes. So I was like, screw it, we're going big, and I bought my own car. And then a week after buying my own car, we realized, hey, you just take the cap off of the wall. We just switch the cap, and then just switch the cap, bro. And then the car will work just fine. And then we were like, bruh. So, But it is what it is. It had to happen. I'm glad I have my car. And then I was a little speed demon for a little bit. I was going vroom, 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 within the speed limit, of course. So that was fun, And yeah, right now I'm working full time, which it makes it kind of hard to be like consistent with stuff, because I work full time, and then I don't have like a lot of social interactions with people outside of work. I just go into work and then I come out, and it gets silly. I feel it's silly to try and make new friendships or something, especially right now where it's like people are inside their house. People are just trying to get by. So it's like, whatever. I guess I'm stuck like this for a little bit. Feels like a little silly, but at least I'm grateful I have a job throughout this experience. I'm able to do my own. I'm able to provide for myself and stuff. I pay rent and stuff, pay my bills and stuff. So it's like, what can I complain about? At one point, though, I want to have my own. I want to buy a house soon-ish, sooner than later, really, and just be like, woo, baby. Then once I buy my house, it's gonna be easy living. Hopefully soon I'll be able to open up a restaurant, have the family working there, and then just once that restaurant's off the ground, just open up another one. I think my dream plan right now, don't tell anyone, but my dream plan would be open up a restaurant right here where I live, right? And then open up a chain, like a sister location, maybe nearby. I haven't thought that part through, but have another one like in Oregon, so I can just have like these restaurants in these places that I like going. Because I went to Oregon last year in the middle of a pandemic. It was silly, but it was fun. We visited family. It was a very PogChimp moment. I wouldn't change the time I spent over there for anything. I really appreciate that place, and I really liked it. I 100% would love to go again this year if the opportunity arises, and hopefully it will. But I would like to have a restaurant there so I could have a house there. And then I think in my head I have like a, not westward expansion, but the first, I think like imperialism, where I want to have houses everywhere. I went to Atlanta, Georgia, over there to work on someone's house, and I really liked the place too. It was very pretty. I saw a whole bunch of deer there. So I was like, yo, we finna have a house here, bro. So I want to have a house over there in Oregon. have a house here, and then just just hop in the plane and be like, all right, what's up? Let me check out the restaurant, kids. Let me see what you guys are cooking back here. Let me see if you're stepping what I'm smelling in. And yeah, that'd be fun, I think. And then just be like running that stuff and then just living life, bro. The other day I saw, he looked like a grandpa. He was a sweetheart. He was walking around pushing his grandchild, I presume, on a stroller. Maybe it was his kid, I don't know. But he was just walking around, pushing him on the stroller. He was talking to me, he was laughing. And then I walked by with my mask and he's like, hey, I'm sorry, friend. Hey, buddy. I don't have my mask. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it, sweetheart. I didn't say sweetheart because, I'm giving the man respect. He's in front of his kin. I said, oh, no worries, friend. No worries, pal. And then at that moment, I was just like, yo, when I get to that age, I want to be pushing around a grandkid, a grandson, nephew, or niece. Something. A little kid that, is like related to me in some way. And just being like, oh, these are the days. And just living carefree. That's the life, I think. That's the life I'm striving to get to. But first, obviously, I gotta get to point B before I can get to point D. So every day I'm learning. I feel like Caillou out here. And yeah, I feel like I'm gonna end this podcast here because I've gone on, a tangent. I've shared a little secret of my life that I usually don't share with a lot of people, but I figured, hey, why not the frick I share here? So here we go. I shared that. I tell you everything you know, and now hopefully you hear this and you don't think, hey, that guy's kind of crazy. Let me not listen to that ever again. Hopefully you think, hey, that guy's kind of crazy. I like where he's going with it. Let's see if he's got any more stuff. And then you'll hear that I sing sometimes, and I actually, don't tell anyone, but I actually wrote lyrics to a song that I kind of like, but I have zero idea how to make like a beat, or not a beat, because it's not a beat song. It's like in my head, it's like accompanied by a mariachi band or a band. Not like boom, boom, but I don't know how to do it. That's the thing. It's just like I have the vision, I have it in my head, but I don't know how to get it on paper so I can show it. So, oh well, I keep doing covers. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Don't forget to drink your water, spay, neuter your cats, and have a good night, everyone. See ya on the next one. Bye-bye.